Okay, awesome. Hey guys, happy Tuesday, happy payday. Woo woo. I am super excited. Um, as you guys know, every Tuesday we do this awesome call, and I have a different 200K on each week that always is gracious to hop on, whether they're on our team or not, and share their story and their tips with us. This week, I actually have Karri and Webb, and she'll be joining us in about 10 minutes. She's actually doing like another call right now that gets over at 12:15. So until then, I wanted to kind of chat a little bit about what's happening in the company, the release of our brand new products. We have our brand new shake coming out this week, which, well, lifestyle mix, sorry, which I am super excited about. That is such a popular flavor, and I have a feeling that we will be selling a lot of that. And we also released this week our new gel technology for hair, skin, and nails, and that is huge. And one of the things I wanted to kind of remind everybody is, are you following up with people? Like, one of the things that I did the other day was I messaged all of my customers that have ordered in the past or still order now, just letting them know. Sometimes they're not, they get emails, yes, but they don't look at them. And sometimes it's just you saying, hey, did you see this new flavor? Do you want to add it in, or do you want to try it? Or would you mind, I'd love for you to be a tester. I'll give you $25 off of the new gel technology. Getting people to know what's happening, know what's new. And it's so crazy because I went through a lot of my free customers, and I had two order with me because of the new hair, skin, and nails. Like it's so funny how sometimes it's that one product that gets somebody that hadn't ordered in the past go, oh, I really need that. Like, I want to order. So, one of our jobs, and I think we forget this sometimes, we sign up these free accounts, we sign up customers, but one of the jobs that I think that we totally suck at as business owners is following up with these people, you guys. I mean, are you checking in with your customers every single month? Are you saying, how's it going? How are you feeling? It's amazing to me how, it's those people on my team that keep those customers. I've got some people on my team that have, gotten the $1,600 a month for the auto bonus because they are in touch with those customers. And it's crazy how, when you're touching base with a customer, it's funny, like when I go back, when I have slacked in the past, I'll touch base and go, hey, I just noticed you stopped ordering. Why was that? Oh, well, I wasn't feeling this, or I wasn't getting this. And all it took was for me to go, oh, well, have you tried, Duo? Have you tried our burn? Have you, did you think about Black Label? They need your guidance. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I think is such a blessing in our industry and makes us different, and why people order from you, is that personal connection that you make with people, that building relationships. And I know you guys probably get sick and tired of hearing that, but that's what we do. We build relationships, and people continue to order with you, and they continue to buy from you every single month because of those relationships that you're continuing to cultivate. And I think that you can build those relationships amazingly, but it's like, once we sign someone, then we don't contact them again. And I think every single person on here is guilty of that. I know I am. I know I have done that, where I've gotten busy and it's like, I haven't touched base with my customers in 3-4 months. So, one of the things that I think that we need to do, to, if you're one of those people that you're like, wow, I can sign the customers, but why am I not keeping them? I want you to really ask yourself that question. Are you cultivating that relationship? Are you continuing to let them, keep them in the know what's going on with the company? But more than that, are you asking them, how are you feeling? What can I do for you? Needs change, guys. There, 1 month, I've had things change in my life just over the past couple years, different health things that I need different things, and people's lives change, where they were sleeping fine for years. Now all of a sudden they're not sleeping. you'd know that if you were checking in with them, and you could say, hey, you've got to check this rest stuff out if the Thrive experience isn't doing it. So be in the know with your customers, and that's how you're really, really going to maintain and keep them. And especially right now with the new products that we have coming out, that gives us that excuse to reach out to them and, touch base and say, hey, and we don't have to look like we're bugging anybody because we have a reason. We've got this new stuff. I wanted to let you know about it. And then, I think another issue that we kind of face sometimes is following up. How much do I follow up? When do I follow up? What's too much? How do I know if I'm bugging someone? And, guys, this is really simple. I have, one rule that I followed for the last 10 years, 10 years, because when you hear that saying, fortune is in the follow up, oh my gosh, especially last night I did a Zoom with people that had promoted, and it was crazy to me how many of those stories they were watching that person promoting Thrive for 2 years, for 3 years, for a year before they signed up. And all of them said that the person kept following up with them for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. You guys don't understand what you're missing when you're not following up. And it'll be a rude awakening that one day when you wake up and you go see one of those people that you contacted a year ago that told you no, now signed up on someone else's team, and they just went 12K, they just went 40K, they just went 200K, and that's when it will hit you. And I don't want it to have to hit you, because I've had that happen before, and it is not a nice feeling to know that if it was not for my lack of building that relationship and following up consistently, again, people's whys change, their needs changed. It does get to be it's a slap in the face when that happens, but it doesn't have to happen to you. And what I want you to think about when it comes to follow up is, I want you to think about, my rule of thumb over the last 10 years is, unless somebody files a restraining order, I'm following up. And it's easy, guys, because I think we're thinking, are we bugging this person? What is too much? For me, follow up with people is roughly once a month. I'm going to follow up. And if you guys don't want to have that uncomfortable feeling, there's a simple phrase that you can ask people, super simple. And it goes something like this. Hey girl, I just want to, let you know my passion for these products and the way I feel can sometimes take over. And I don't want to feel like I'm bugging you. Do you want me to keep you on my follow-up list when new promotions are now announced, or when new products come in the company? Do you want me to continue to follow up with you just in case we come out with something that you might need at some point? Or did you want me to take you off my follow-up list? You guys, that's what I've done for the last, 8 years, once I learned just to be upfront and honest with people. And I don't ever think I've had anybody say, take me up your follow-up list. They always say, no, 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 I want to know. People want to know. It's just about timing for people. And I think once we get that, past that uncomfortable feeling, and we get that clarification from them that, okay, no, I want you to follow up with me, it kind of takes that burden off your shoulders, where you're like, inhaling and exhaling every time you go to message them, because you're like, oh my God, here I go again. Am I bugging them? But sometimes we just need that affirmation from them that, no, I want to know about this. And I'll tell you what, I cannot remember one person, over the last 8 years that I've been using that little phrase, that has said, take me off your list. People are nosy. They want to know what's going on, and they don't want to feel left out. And I'll tell you what, I cannot tell you how many promoters I've personally signed onto my team that I followed up with 20 times, 10 times, 30 times. It was the 30th time. So, can you guys hear me okay? Cass is saying no, but I don't know if that's just her phone.
I can. It's Carrie Ann. I'm here.
Carrie, hey Carrie, how are you? You're here. I was just chatting until you got on.
I know. I hopped on a couple minutes ago. I heard some good stuff.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for hopping on with us today. I know you had something before this, so I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to pour into us. And I cannot wait to hear your story, because I don't know it. So I always get excited when I don't know somebody's story. So you guys, Karri and Webb, 200K, and I want you to kind of start, Karri, with like, what were you doing before network marketing? Is Lavelle your first company? Did you dabble in network marketing before? Then how did you find Lavelle? And then were you customer first, promoter, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, awesome. Well, I've been in network marketing probably 10 years. Just dabbled originally as kind of a side hustle when the kids were little, did the jewelry party thing. I was actually in banking, and before I left my banking career, my last position, I was a bank manager. So majority of my career, I've always had a side hustle. My husband and I have had an eBay store that we have run since maybe 18 years together. So I just have that entrepreneur mindset. There always has to be something else. So even while I was in banking, always did something else, did the jewelry parties. But most of my banking career was actually in credit card collections. And I was helping people get healthy, kind of, so to speak, with their finances, get them out of a very bad financial position. So I learned a lot about what not to do from those experiences. And then, you know, I went on to branch banking and management and just helped people get loans and things like that. But I just love people, but I always worked a side business. I loved being able to just work that before and after on my lunch breaks. And I actually came across once corporate America kind of sucked the life out of me for a while. I missed a bunch of work, gained some weight. Never would have imagined that I would have tried supplements or anything for weight loss years ago. So I actually, when I was switching banks, I had found a product that a friend had shared with me with another direct sales company for weight loss. And it wouldn't have ever been something that I would have thought that I needed. And I said, okay, I'll try this. You know, I've dug myself into this hole and found a product and ended up doing well with that organization. So well that I was able to resign from the bank. We actually set up a lot of steps in motion to be able to do that. You know, we made sure that we paid off all our unsecured debt, replaced my income, put away 2 years worth of expenses, set all kinds of things in motion because you just never know what's going to happen. And unfortunately, the product with our company, I was there almost 3 years. They changed the formula, and then they changed the formula again and again and again. And I was around amazing people and learned so much. It was a much smaller scale than Lavelle. I guess the kind of way my husband has explained it best. It was like going from middle school to a collegiate level with the way things were. I learned a ton about the industry from this organization that I was with. And when I got the opportunity to find out about Lavelle, it was actually from a friend of mine who left. We actually had just taken a trip with our old company. Mind you, the company I was with, only 50 people could qualify. Never had a single member of my downline on a trip with me, ever. I made a great friendship with a girl named Holly Choate. She's also a Lavelle millionaire. And she and I became very close on these trips. We had just come back from a trip, and I knew her heart wasn't in it anymore because unfortunately we had so many changes. So she joined Lavelle, and my heart was broken. I was very close-minded. I, at that point, was thinking going down with the ship. I really didn't know anything outside of that business and wanted no part of it. But I said, hey, you do you. I want you to be happy. Love that you found something. But then I continued to watch her, and she was so happy. She was the Holly that I became best friends with and fell in love with. I could see that through her Facebook posts and through our conversations, but I didn't think that it was for me. I still had, you know, somewhat of a business, and mind you, I'd given up my career for this business. So I really was not open to any opportunities. So I continue to see her getting her car paid for. She got her car bonus right away. All of these people had these collages with all these money they were making. And I wasn't surrounded by that. I just had some great people who we just weren't in the right place. So I said, I think this is hype, smoke and mirrors. I'm going to dial into these calls. I dialed into a Thursday night Lavelle live call. It was my very first call. She had no clue I was dialing in. And I continued to dial in. After actually that very first call, all I could think of was, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I want to be a part of this. I kind of freaked out because I had no intentions of joining or making any change. I was that closed-minded. I swore that it was just going to be too good to be true. Thought it was a million steps. I didn't think the product was for me. And then I realized how simple the product was. The business model I became obsessed with. I printed up the comp plan right away and went through everything. The unilevel aspect of it, I'd never heard of. I was from a binary company, and I knew that comp plan like the back of my hand. So I wanted to know everything about this. But the cloud-based aspect was genius to me because all I could think about was the money that wasn't being spent on that. And when I saw those VIP bonuses, I didn't have to have a website fee. I was just obsessed. And so I dialed into calls for about 2 weeks, soaking up as much information as I could before I reached out to her. She immediately connected me with her friend Jennifer, who had brought her into the company. I didn't know who Jennifer was. And Jennifer just shared how awesome this product was and how to take it and what to do. Then she connected me with her friend Maria, because I really wanted to know more about the business. I wanted to know the ins and outs, kind of just hear from someone who had been successful. And Maria kind of shared, she'd been able to take care of her student loans, which that was a burden in my life, was student loan debt. And she just said, I have time freedom. I can do all these things with my children. I built this business in the nooks and crannies of my day. And that personal connection on those calls was something I'd never experienced because we didn't do calls. And so when I joined Lavelle, it was all about kind of being open-minded to the Lavelle way and connecting people and being on calls, not being the expert, relying on my upline. And then eventually, once I heard them explain those experiences so quickly, I was the person. I was the Jennifer. I was the Maria. I was the Holly. I was the one who could explain it after I'd heard it so many times. It was all about, I think one of the first calls I listened to is a tip I still share to this day: the biggest copycat wins. So I always just want to duplicate the people that were successful. So I just did what they did, and I had to be open-minded that, I needed to follow this way. So I kind of went from there. But when I started, I realized, I wasn't someone who was really comfortable traveling. I'm not big on leaving and going places. So I felt kind of like, well, I'm going to just do what I do. I used to use a program with virtual screen training because none of my team was local. And when I joined, none of my team was local. So I did most of my trainings through videos, screen trainings with the program. And that was kind of how I started. And I still use those videos to this day. I do a video on every topic. So I feel like every single person has access to me, even if they don't live in Ohio. I'm in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Most of my team is not here, and that's okay. That's the beauty of growing on social media, using the phone. And, we started doing Zooms a few years back. These are incredible resources. So you can do this from home. Now I get out and about a little bit more. My kids are older. My son drives. It's a new world. Having teenagers, you can do things. So I want everyone to have the same opportunity, whether they live within my town or outside my town. So when we took off, we went, my husband and I kind of work our accounts like one. We enrolled them back to back for everything. So we've worked them just kind of as one account. We went, I announced on a Friday that we were promoting, and Sunday night I had so many people that wanted calls and interest that Jennifer and Holly did a friends and family call. And I said, everybody, I love this business. This product makes me feel incredible. I had a sample and fell in love with it. And I knew that I always tell everyone, once I knew a product this amazing existed and a business model this incredible existed, there's no way that I was going to settle for anything less. I had to jump in. I had to be the person to share it with them. And I wasn't going to shut up about it. And I'm still that way. So I really have focused a lot on just sharing that. And that Sunday night, Jennifer and Holly did a call with all my friends for me. And we hit our VIP 1600. I think it was within a week, we went 4K, 2 weeks, 12K. And then the following month, I actually earned my first trip. So we've earned all 15 getaways that have been on the table since we started. And then 200K, both our accounts went 200K in our first year. Last year, I was able to earn the Lavelle Million Award. And this summer, we earned the Lavelle Millionaire Award on my husband's account. It's all just because we get the product into people's hands, follow the leader, duplicate. I've had some amazing leaders that have had no experience in this business, and I've had some amazing leaders that have. It's all, my first 200K, she was a VP of a bank and was able to resign after 4 months. She'd really never done much in this industry. So it's been incredible, and we're set up for success in so many ways with Lavelle that I can't even explain it. It blows my mind still to this day, the opportunities that they put out for us. I mean, yesterday with the double triple, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Again, this is amazing. I ramble a lot, Lisa. I don't know what else.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just thinking, at the beginning of your story, when you said you were kind of creeping and listening in on calls and you didn't even tell her, like, I think sometimes we think when we put this stuff out on social media, like, and we don't see anybody like it, we don't see anybody comment. You guys, there are people watching. There are people just like Karri that are probably dialing in or listening, and it's just they're curious. So don't stop. Like, I think that's the thing that we make the biggest mistake with, is if we're not seeing like the fruits of our labor right away, we stop doing those things. And what we have to realize is behind the scenes, things are happening. I always think of that picture with that guy, like picking away at that wall and there's gold. And like he stops right before, like if he just would have dug another time, one more day. And I think about that all the time because it really is like that. Like you don't even know who's watching you. Your next rock star is watching you right now. It's just one of those things where, like I said, don't forget to follow up with people. Take me a little bit. Okay, so you got started. Give me like a little path of, you came in, I'm assuming it sounds like you went pretty fast. You said within a year you got both accounts to 200K. But what was the time frame? Like how long to 4K, 12K, 40K, 80K?
4K a week, 12K, 2 weeks, 40K, I think. End of January, we started in December, 40K, then 80K. I think by month 4 or 5, we had $200,000 in sales, but I was obsessed with the waiting room. So I still am. I combined and stacked like crazy to get everybody that I could their car bonuses. So I think that's why our team has so many, because I'm obsessed with the waiting room. But I redlined myself. We have my husband's account first, and I moved a bunch of people to help, and then kind of redlined myself. And I said, well, it takes a few more months to get the rank. It'll happen. We helped a lot of people along the way. And so I think it was month 8 that we got the actual rank, August. And then I think 2 months later, we got our second account to 200K.
How long have you been in total?
It'll be 5 years in this December.
Okay. So, what else I was thinking about too was you said waiting room. Okay. We got to talk about this a little bit. And I don't think we've ever talked about this I've been doing this call every week since January and have had a different 200K leader on. And I don't think we've ever talked about the waiting room. So I kind of want to talk about it a little bit because I do get a lot of questions on how do you utilize your waiting room? And you definitely seem like the type of person that you are probably very, like you need to be in the know. I feel like you've got your shit together. I don't. Like I'm a hot mess express. Somebody will ask me something about the cloud office and I'm like, not sure. But I do know how to utilize my waiting room. How do you, like, I love how you said you kind of like made a lot of 12Ks and things like that. And I think it's super interesting to hear how people utilize their waiting room. And I get that question all the time from people. What do I do with my waiting room?
What I kind of do now for people is I will pull it up. I know when I started, we kind of we just did screen shares. I'm like, let me take a look. Let me see what you have. Who knows who? Like if someone has a relationship with another promoter, sometimes it makes more sense to put them under them because they're going to work together. They're going to help each other. But I always now I think I have maybe 6 legs, but I always just combine to 4. I have 2 super, super strong legs. and then 2 just smaller legs. Now I think I have a couple floaters here and there. But for me, it was all about who can I help and how can I help the most people. So at some points, we always say we don't want to go past 4 levels deep. I know that I did when I first started because I just wanted to help as many people as I can with the auto bonuses. And some of those choices that I made impacted red lines and things like that, but they also changed the course of some people's business and the trajectory that they were on, that produced some insane leaders because that auto bonus meant so much. So I always would just look at, okay, I go through every single person's legs. I mean, I will spend hours strategizing the best specific place, because you just don't know really, if it's going to be the right decision, wrong decision. But I just have a conversation with those people, and I reward the runners, the people that are working. I'm going to take a look. Okay, what's your weak legs? Who's running on your weak legs? I always want to make sure that I pull up my iPad report and make sure that volume is moved to someone that's pushing for their iPad before the month ends, because that volume will carry over into their 30 days for the next month. So I like to take a look at the iPad report. Is something that really gives someone confidence they've got that first rank. Now, if you make that waiting room move, you're going to help them. If they do it within the same calendar month, they're going to be able to get this $4,000 bonus. Anyone enrolling today and into, and it's the 15th on, their volume carries towards next month for a rank. So those are the people that you can utilize as well to help them rank up, because the volume is going to carry forward. So I definitely try to look at relationships, who's running, and whose weak leg needs what. Kind of go from there. I'd rather help someone than let volume expire by the end of the month and not do anything with it. That's just how I am. But like I said, I got a little eager and I was super excited, but I made those moves and they really did help a lot of people. And someone asked, how do you lead a person to their auto bonus? I really just focus on their 4Ks. I focus on the VIP bonus. And you can kind of tell when someone's going to be a runner. They're the ones that ask you 1,000,001 freaking questions nonstop when they start. They want to know everything and they're engaged. They ask all kinds of questions. And they're the ones that apologize that they're bugging you all the time. Those are the ones that are going to get my waiting room volume, because I know that they're engaging. They're participating in my power hours. They're getting on my calls. They're plugging me in with 3-way chats and 3-way messages. So those are the kind of people you can kind of tell that you're going to lead into their auto bonus, because you're going to be helping them with their iPad, and then you're going to help their promoters with their VIPs. But I've also, probably done more work for people sometimes than I should have. That's just my nature. I want to help everybody. And sometimes you do too much. It happens. I get it. But, I always just think, maybe this will spark something for someone, and sometimes it doesn't. And, you get burned, but I would rather take the chance of helping someone than not helping someone. But I do, the waiting room was something that it blew me away before I joined the company. That was something that was intriguing to me, because I know what it's like to not get paid on volume. And the concept of that you could place someone, we just kind of were thrown out there and placed. I don't think you guys realize in some companies, you just get placed. Like, you're just enrolled and that's where you just go. The system puts you there.
People don't get how lucky we are to have a unilevel hybrid comp plan, not a binary. Like, if you've ever worked in a binary, which you did, you realize how freaking awesome it is that you get control of your business. You can build as wide as you want, as deep as you want. You can place where you want, under people that deserve it. And it's such a, I always think, why does anybody go to a binary? But you know what? It's just one of those things where I think people fall in love with the product and they don't get, compensation plans. They learn. Learn. I would love to know, you've been in this business 5 years, 6 years. I mean, it's a lot happens in that time. And I think sometimes people only see the highlight reels and they see all the good and they think, oh, it's just smooth sailing. They're a millionaire or they're 200K. When you look back, what are some challenges that you think you faced in this business, whether it was losing a leg or whether it was losing a rank or losing a bonus, or just like, what are some of the crappy things that happened to you that you had to overcome?
I mean, honestly, I think the one thing that a lot of us leaders that have been doing it was the double QV hangover.
Oh my gosh. Can I
So
just be like mad forever about that? Okay.
I, I, I'm realistic when it comes to numbers, the ebbs and flows of this business. That's why, like I said, my husband and I are very strategic, and I guess I'm grateful that he is the way that he is with our things. Like, so when I quit my job, he knew that if my old company went under, we had ourselves set up for 2 years of everything set aside in an account that we could live for 2 years before I quit my job. So,
I need to hire you guys.
he's good. Like, he's cracked the whip. Like, we never took my kids on a single family vacation until Lavelle, because it was just not in the budget. Those are the
Right.
things that we said no to, because he always just said, Karri, one day we're going to be able to do whatever we want. If we say no now, we never went to fast food restaurants. I mean, my kids are older now, so we missed the boat. We've never gone to a movie theater as a family of four. And my son's going to be 18 and my daughter is 15. Because when they were little, that wasn't in the budget. And then they were teenagers by the time we could afford to take them to the movies. But the double QV hangover was something that I'm realistic, that I know what true numbers are, and I can understand the highs and lows. I'm prepared that some months are going to suck. People are going to choose at the holidays to spend money on their families, because when I only had a set amount of money, and I know what that's like, paycheck to paycheck most of my life. My husband worked as a bartender, and then I worked at the bank, and we had a half-hour shift, difference. I know what it's like to not have the extra money. I'm realistic when people have other priorities and the sales dip. I'm realistic when they want to spend money on summer vacations and they're going to take time off potentially from their business, or their customers are going to spend money on their family or back to school things. So you have to be realistic of your business. There's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be a season where there's going to be a great bonus you're going to earn. If you earn your VIP bonus and all you're thinking is, can't wait to blow it, go get a new purse or something like that. If you think, wow, if I take half of that, $200, and I can get $50 off for 4 people, or I can help 2 people start up their business, that's going to pay you back like 20 purses down the road. If you take some money and set it aside now, you just have to. It's, for me, sometimes the part that bothers me is people just they aren't realistic sometimes when they get these bonuses on how to space things out. And that's okay, because it's exciting when you earn something that you've never had. But the double QV hangover, those numbers were awesome. They allowed a lot of people to earn some great bonuses that potentially weren't going to be on the table. So I think it's super cool for that. But when those numbers dipped down, people took that as a reflection of themselves and something that they did wrong in their business, and it wasn't. And that's,
Right.
for me, was the hard part, because I know how hard that they worked. It was just a double volume that was associated with something. It wasn't anything that they did wrong. So I didn't want anyone to feel like they failed. It was just an awesome promotion that came along with the business. And we just had to go from that. And build new true volume kind of from there. I would say that's mainly the one thing,
It's
that.
funny how our minds work, because we look at certain things as failures, but we're not looking at, okay, like bonuses. They drive me crazy because people live off the bonus, and it's like, no, 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 this is going to go away. You need to look at that as total extra. It's just like when people get their VIP bonuses. Turn that somebody that's serious about this business is going to take at least half of that and turn it around and put it right back into their business, because like you said, it's going to pay you 20 purses, not one. And it's the mindset that you have to develop to be a business owner, and stop living in this scarcity mentality, because that's what it is. And I think about the people that, with double QV, I kept telling my team, as much as I told them, this isn't real volume, it's not real volume. You have to realize you may get a bonus. Even if you get it for 1 or 2 months, that's 1 or 2 months you never would have had it before. Like, be grateful, but don't, if you lose this is not a reflection. But as much as you say that to people, they still in their mind, I've gone backwards. No, you didn't. You never were there. You're trying to tell people you weren't going backwards at all. You
Exactly.
just were never there. And oh, I totally get it. Like I was like, please God, don't ever let them do it again. But isn't it bad? I hope we got that across to them enough.
Yeah.
But I get it, because you watch people feel defeated. And you guys, I cannot stress this enough. Mindset is everything in this business. Yeah, I've said it on a million different trainings. 99% of success is mindset. It's 1% action, 99% mindset, because where your mind is at, if you're in a good mood, and we all have been there, you know what I'm talking about, where, oh my gosh, I can't go wrong, and I'm signing customers left and right, and everything's amazing, and everything I touch is gold, and everybody I talk to is amazing. And then suddenly we get in this dip, and 1 week turns into 2, turns into 3 months, and we're like, this is horrible. Everything I touch turns to crap. I'm not signing anyone good. And then we delve deeper and deeper into that. It's kind of like when you have a bad day. You get up in the morning and you get out of bed and you stub your toe. You go to the bathroom, there's no toilet paper. You go to brush your teeth, there's no toothpaste, and you deem that this is the worst day ever, right? And so your rest of your day, I don't care what happens, is going to go to crap because you decided it so. Where if you just would have laughed it off, and said, oh, no big deal. It's all the way that our mind develop things. And it doesn't mean because your day started off bad that it has to end bad, just like your business. It doesn't mean because you had one bad week that it now has to turn into 5 bad months, So it's so hard for people to put their mind around that and grasp that. And, I think it's hard for me. I think my hardest thing is when I lose people, because I've lost legs. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've literally had my biggest leg that got me to 200K isn't even here anymore. Like, I think it's when we sit back and we start to, have you ever fallen into management mode? Like,
Oh
do
yeah.
you feel like you've done that?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you catch it. You're like, what am I doing? What have you done? Like, when do you sit back when things aren't going well and you're kind of like, okay, what's going on in my business right now? When you have to kind of reevaluate and sit back, what have you, like, when do you go, okay, I need to change this up? Like, can you think of a time where you've fallen into management mode and you had to catch yourself, or where,
Yeah.
like, you know
Last
what I'm
summer,
saying?
I would say last summer we pushed. We had those re-rank bonuses and things like that, and we pushed, and it was it's something similar to what we're running right now. For the 80 and 200Ks. And it was an intense period of work, and we brought in some great people, and they were running. The double QV had come. And I think that summer I just was kind of like, wow, I just want to enjoy some moments. And I don't feel like I was I was still consistent with posting in my business and things like that. But I used to do a power hour every Tuesday. Then we used to do a Thursday night, Ask Your 200K, VIP, anything Zooms. So we did those. Those were consistent. And I'm the first person to say I don't have a weekly team call. I just do things off the seat. I fly by the seat of my pants, or whatever that saying is. I do lives, calls, Zooms when I feel like I need to talk about it. That's just how I am. And I used to do those consistently. They were fun. We just had different people hosting those. And when we kind of took a break that summer, I really felt like that disconnect, because it was such a great thing to do. Like I said, we started those maybe 3 years ago with Zooms, the power hours, doing an hour of income producing tasks together. And that was so much fun. And I felt like, wow, I stopped doing these. People stopped engaging, and I stopped doing the tasks. I stopped doing my reach outs, and I stopped doing some of my follow-ups. So when we started that back up in the fall, after kind of that summer break, I really felt like I was re-engaged in my business. I wasn't just checking on my team, making sure their people were okay. I felt like I have to do the work too. Just as much as I'm expecting from them. So I always tell my team, I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to say you got to travel to every place all over the earth. I'm not going to say you have to spend money on these things. It's you do you. I'm just going to share with you what I do. But I always try to give everybody too I look at it as this is your own business, and you know, if you want to take control of it, you know, you kind of are responsible for that too. I can't do everything for you, but I can give you a kick in the pants because sometimes I need it. Like I love a lot of these calls that we've had with Jason Camper. They're like kick my own butt calls. Like I feel like every time we get on some of these calls, I'm like, I need to step it up. I need to do more. He's saying, do this, do this, do this. So, having someone to push you like that, I feel like even just exposing you to things keeps you in the game. It keeps me in the game. Because management, it just happens. You get a lot of leaders that I have some great leaders that run their own show. They're great. They're awesome freaking teams. And sometimes I guess I don't feel as needed, but everybody needs you. I need myself. I need to keep myself going. I guess that's kind of it.
No, that's good. I was just thinking about too. I know for me, like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this a long time, and you've been in Lavelle for a while. And I think sometimes people think it's so easy. Oh, you're 200K. People just knock down your door to sign up. No, they don't. And one of my questions I always ask on this call is, being in as long as you have, how do you continue to grow your network? Because I'm an out and about girl, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to like figure out the Instagram thing, not doing too well at it, but I think that's a struggle because we need to continue to build relationships and grow our network. So what do you do?
We get out of the house. My husband and I kind of do everything together. So we've always played in a volleyball league. Friday nights karaoke. The place that we hang out is like our towny spot where it's most parents of anybody that lives in the city. So I'm always meeting people everywhere we go. My kids are in sports, so I know when my son started varsity as a freshman, we generated a group. I think we generated a Facebook group last year or the year before, so all the parents could be connected. Because we like to throw the soccer parties at our house. We like to connect with all the parents about what's going on for the games. So we just started a Facebook group page to keep people in the know. And a lot of those parents I just sent friend requests to. It doesn't mean that they're going to join my business, but a lot of them now are customers. They love Thrive. Some are promoters. They're just exposed. I'm not saying being a mom is the key, but for me, that's who I can relate to because, mamas can't pour from an empty cup. So having a connection to parents is great. Building those relationships. A lot of times we'll do different spots where we go to lunch and we'll sit at the bar and talk with bartenders. I was a server for a really long time, all through school and out of school. I still worked a second job. Even when I got my degree and worked full time during the day, I always waitressed at night. And so I like that industry. I love those people. A lot of our friends are still servers and bartenders. So we try to build relationships, leave our business card, talk to people about what we do there. But any place that we can get out and about, my husband's in a pool league. He's very social and is great with meeting people and connecting them. He's like, anytime we're out, he's like, hey, come over here. You got to meet my wife. He's like, she's going to add you on Facebook. That way, next time I'm up here shooting pool, I can send you a message. We can all hang out. He's like, and he always just says, I suck with my phone, add my wife on Facebook, and then I'll add you, because he does. He sucks with his phone. So I add everyone, and these people become my friends. And that's how a lot of these relationships have built. We'll meet them out. We'll meet their spouses. They know us. We have a local place we hang out with that's around. It's just a bar we shoot pool at, and it's all the hotels in the area that people come in town for business. We specifically go there because there's a lot of people that you can meet that are from out of town, that are in businesses and organizations. So those are places that we go. Like I said, volleyball has been great for us. Our volleyball league, his pool league, parents, getting out of the house, social media. And social media is great, but I'll be honest, I've been in this a long time, and there's still people on my friends list that have never experienced Thrive. Some of my very best friends, we take family vacations together. Our kids are best friends. We've been friends for a lifetime. They don't use Facebook. They don't really have a clue what I do. So I just let people get exposed to it if they want it. But I built a lot of relationships and a lot of trust, whether it was from my banking career, from the restaurants, college, high school. So those people are my network on Facebook, utilizing my husband's network friends that he had from various areas by tagging him in posts. And a lot of times he'll just say, hey, let me connect you with my wife. And you just go from there. So you have to put yourself out there, because there's going to be somebody that you can relate to. I'm not good with the Instagram. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I just post kind of stuff to put it out there, but I don't know if it's really done anything.
Right. I know. I don't know why I'm so intimidated by Instagram. I need to get over myself, but but I was the same way. I remember when I had what was it called right before Facebook? MySpace. Okay, I remember.
MySpace.
Oh my God, I had a MySpace, and I remember when Facebook came out and going, "I'll never have a Facebook." Then I got a Facebook.
I actually joined when I had a due date for my son, December 2001. My son will be 18. I had that due date group. There was a thing called Baby Center. It is still out there. I met a group of mamas, and we all had the same due date. So we joined this little group, and we basically Facebooked from that day on. I think it was like April or May of 2001 until today. So when we joined platforms from MySpace to we created our own website. So I'd been Facebooking daily with a group of 30 moms for almost 18 years. So when Facebook came along, we were like, this is so cool. We've been doing this for years, and we have internet friends, and people don't think we're weird now.
Right.
But these are still ways to connect with someone. They still have Baby Center where you can connect with people about something. You may have a toddler that, cries all the time and is colicky. There's a colicky moms group, something like that. There's a group that you can connect with just about anything everywhere now on Facebook.
What I think that kind of sticks out to me too is that when you were explaining how you build your network, you never once said that you go up to somebody and talk about Thrive. And I think that is the thing that people really need to get. I've never woken up during the day in the morning and gone, I'm going to go out today and just approach people about Thrive. Like, it's never been about that. It's just about, like, I think you got to take the pressure off yourself, guys. Like, if that's what you're thinking this is, yeah, sure. Are you going to wear your DFT where it's visible? And if somebody asks, are you going to say something? Absolutely. But the real goal is just connecting, getting people connected to social media, because once they're on Facebook, they're going to start to see what you're doing, and that's where that relationships develops. But I think taking the pressure off yourself and realizing that it takes time. Like, I look at the people that I add, if I add someone today, if they ever come, they may come into my business, they may not. But if they do, it's usually not that week. It's usually 4 months later, a year later. And I think that people never get to experience the people that would join them because they quit. They're like, oh, well, I've been in 2 months and nothing's happened. No one signed with me. What you also have to understand is if you listen to Karri, she had a network, you guys. She came from another business. Like, we don't know people's backstories. And, but even before she came from that business, she had a network. Like, she waited tables. She was a banker. You can tell by your personality that you talk to people. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody coming into network marketing has any kind of network. They've got 200 friends on Facebook. They're just getting started. And what you have to understand is that no one can get past the hard work. No one can. It doesn't matter who you are. You might have been laying the foundation and doing the hard work before you ever started network marketing and you didn't even know it. But no one's going to get past that part. And so if you're in and you're thinking, how can I do this? Maybe you're shy, you're introverted, you're like, well, I'm not Karri or I'm not Lisa. You guys, Karri can tell you the same thing. I have 80Ks and 200Ks on my team that are the shyest introverted people ever. But they just had to do the groundwork. And one of the most amazing things is, when I got started in network marketing, Facebook just started, like pretty much had just started. You guys, old school network marketing, people literally had to do it the hard way. Now, it doesn't really matter how introverted you are, what your personality is like. You can hide behind Facebook. I hate saying that, but you can, because you can develop and build relationships through texting and posts and those type of things. And yes, is it going to take time? Absolutely. Anything worth having takes time, but you just have to look at it like, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. I always say that because I think we catch ourselves playing that comparison game, and we get like, so tell me what you think, like being in from the beginning. You were in Lavelle like pretty much in the beginning stages, like it was only 2 years old at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, seeing the growth you've seen now, and then the stuff we're starting to come out with, and then how Jason talks about the future, like where do you feel like, I have a lot of people that say to me, it's saturated, everybody knows about it, which I always roll my eyes and I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, so Apple saturated, so
It's
is Nike.
not. Yeah, I mean,
It's so silly.
where I live, I'll be honest, I'm the only person with a Lavelle car that has like the graphics. I'm obsessed with graphics, by the way. All our cars have graphics, except one, and my teenage son's car. My husband's like, they allowed us to get this minivan when I started. We didn't get the luxury car. We hit our bonus in like 2 weeks. But we were like, I needed a new minivan. So we waited until we could pay cash for a new minivan. And that minivan has graphics on it, and this area is not saturated. All our cars have the graphics, and everybody knows us in this town. They ask us, they think it's a construction company. They're like, what's Level? But I literally live in a town where barely anybody thrives. And there's, one of my closest friends, she's a Lavelle millionaire that joined me. And a lot of times it's her and I and maybe 30 people at an event, because none of our team is local. We have a whole market in our town. People still don't have a clue at where we live. And what's amazing is if you have a lot of people in your town that do it, that means people have heard about it. They know, oh my gosh, I've heard about that Thrive thing. It's awesome. My friend did that. Okay, well, awesome. I'm doing it now. You can do it with me. So it doesn't matter if a lot of people have heard of it or nobody's heard of it. You get to be the one to tell your network and your friends about it and go from there. It's definitely, I know when I started, I also still try to say, we have a lot of great products and things that you can bolt onto your Experience Plus line. Keep it about the 1, 2, 3. That's my focus. I always just focus on the 1, 2, 3 because that's what brought me in. That's what I fell in love with. I love the simplicity of the 1, 2, 3 because I can't take all kinds of products throughout the day. So I was just talking on my Zoom this morning. I said, guys, I'm so pumped about Sculpt because anything that I like has to be added into my Thrive experience. My Boost goes in my shake every morning because I can't remember the other stuff. I get busy. I love that Sculpt is going to be part of my morning. That's going to be incredible. So this is going to be something I know for me personally that I'm going to be able to explode my business with because I focus on the simplicity of the morning. That's what has brought me in and that's what I like. So I stick with a lot of those things. And then as someone is, starts their experience or they're promoting more, those are when I'm like, hey, try this. This is super fun. You can't sleep. Oh, girl, we got this for you. Oh, your belly's bloated. You need balance. I swear by it. Like bottle every 3 months is great. Stick with what brought you in, the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the best part of this company, whether you started 5 years ago or you're, starting today. We have something and you get to be the person that gets to share it with them. It's super fun. So it doesn't matter at all whether, and it's also, guys, it's all about who the people know. I mean, one of the Lavelle millionaires on our team, Allison Mongler, she was a college student who had headaches. I mean, when I started my business, or think about it now, there's somebody that could be a college freshman now that's your next Lavelle millionaire because she's going to start this in a few years. You just don't know. It's her parents got her parents' friends are on my team and kind of went from there. There's so many people. It's all about who they know. I would have never known half of these people in Missouri or Michigan. It really is just about connecting people, and then those people know people and people. So one of my Jolene on my team, she had 200 Facebook friends when she joined, and she went 200K. So it's incredible. You just don't know. Social media can explode for you.
It can. And I mean, I always tell people, whatever your story is, I can find a 200K in this company with same story 10 times worse that did it. Like there's always somebody that did it, and it's all about that, like that need, that why. And I think that's like where the connection comes in, is how bad do you want it? Really, like how bad do you want it? My last question bringing in a brand new promoter, I always kind of like to know, I message you, Karri, I'm ready to get started. What do you do now? I always kind of like to know, what do you do with that brand new person?
Usually I'm like, hey, when can I give you a call? And I mean, I call every single person. When I first started, I mean, this is bad to say, I don't always connect everyone with Holly anymore. I wait. I always tell everyone, hey, within 24 to 48 hours, try to get your newest promoters connected with me for a welcome call so I can get them hyped up about the business, what to do with their kit. But when someone messages me, I'm like, hey, let me give you a call. And I actually just explain to them kind of how to get started. I let them know the bonuses that are going to be on the table for them in the first 2 weeks. And really, it's a matter of connecting on social media with people, letting them know, hey, let's do this together. I just am trying out this wearable nutrition. Who wants to do this with me, guys? I heard it's insane energy. Or if they've experienced it, posting. I try to make sure that every person that I talk to, make sure they're posting and they're sharing, and then I walk them through that VIP. Who are the 4 people that you really feel like you could connect with? So those are really what I focus on. I'm like, listen, I will validate the product. I can do a Facebook Live event for you where I'm sharing to your network, because you don't have to be an expert. Let me talk to any of your friends for you. But I found that videos have really been a great resource for me. I used to do calls. Now, the last few years, I set up an event page. Every event page kind of gets the same information, product topics and things like that. It's a way for my promoter to learn about those products, save those posts that explain things, and it's there for their network. I'll go live in there and I'll explain the Thrive experience for them, and I'll explain the business opportunity. And then it's saved as a video. It's their personal resource. So I don't have to repeat myself 500 times if I can't connect to their friends on a 3-way call. I'm realistic. That's not going to happen all the time. I want them to have a resource that they can use over and over again as they're starting. So I like to do stuff like that. So when somebody calls me, I'm like, oh my gosh, let's get you started. Let me give you a call. But when I was new, I'm like, hey, when can I give you a call? And then I would say, hey, Holly, oh my gosh, somebody's excited. They're ready to get started. And I would connect with Holly and I would set a time and I would say, all right, I'm going to get you on a call. I'm new. My friend Holly's a rock star in this business. She's the one that got me started. We are so pumped. You are going to kick butt with this. We're going to call you together tonight at 7:00. And then, that's kind of what I do now with my promoters that are starting. And then a lot of leaders, they'll get comfortable on their own to just do it. But I still have a lot of people that they're 200Ks and they're my personally enrolled, and their samplers all get in a message with me. So I can share my story real quick.
I don't know how many 200Ks I have to have on that say, do a welcome call. And I love what you just said, like creating like a page for that promoter to add prospects to that have information. And that's like such a good idea. I never thought about that. That's like really good. And, having that resource there for them all the time. But one of the things that is really sticking out to me is, you said it at the beginning of the call, you said it in the middle, and you've now said it again, the third party credibility that you use, and, even if you're not into calls, guys, a message, like, third party is so huge, especially for a brand new promoter, because I feel like they need to know it's just more than you that's excited for them, more than you that they can go to, more than you that, has seen success. They've got to hear from someone else. And I think the more the merrier. I mean,
And the
definitely.
voice memo app, I use the voice memo app. I have one that's recorded. They're less than 2 minutes. One's my story. One is how to take Thrive, and one is what is Thrive. They're labeled on my voice memos. It's a free feature that came on my cell phone that I can record on. So I can text that to people. If someone says, hey, this is my girlfriend. I'm super excited for her to start. Her trial's coming. Can you share your story? Okay, let's click my story. Boom, send the voice clip. So I already have those things prepared. So
yeah, you can make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Get all these things lined up. So it's just shooting a video, shooting a quick message, shooting a quick call. You can save all these things in your notes because it really is the same thing over and over again. Share your story or share, the bonuses in the first 14 days, just little things like that you can already have set up for yourself. Okay. Last question, really, really quick. I lied. Self-development, I think, is just so huge and people do it differently. Do you have like a favorite podcast, somebody you listen to, a group, or a book, or an audible? Like, is there something that sticks
I
out to you that you feel
I've
like
never
every
I don't even know really what podcasts do. I've never I I downloaded Audible, but I've never used it, and I've read one book in the last 10 years. And I know
that's okay,
that's
girl.
totally me. I actually am a great reader. I can read well. I just don't do it. I read Sarah Robbins' book, How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. It's like this big.
It is,
I read
yeah.
it 7 years ago and I loved it, and that was it. And I read Twilight like 10 years ago. I just don't read. I've bought books and I always say I'm going to. It's just like my planner. I have like 5 planners. I'm just not organized.
You sound like me with the planners.
I'm
I'm like,
the
oh, that's
worst.
a pretty planner. It looks amazing. I'm gonna buy
Yeah, my
that, and then
husband was
it's
like,
sitting there.
"You need a planner. You scheduled this Zoom with Lisa, and then you said you were going to share your experience on the Blitz. You know, we have Blitz calls all day, hour. There's a call every hour." I was like, "How did I manage that?" He said, "Just, if you had a planner."
I
I
do the
really,
same thing, double
yeah,
booking myself. But you
I
know what?
will
That's
watch
not the
YouTube
only way to
videos.
self-develop. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I watch, honestly, I just listen and tune into other leaders, follow some of them. And then if there's something that's inspirational through like a YouTube video that I'll see maybe Maria post or Jennifer's aunt post. But otherwise, I don't like, I'm motivated by my kids and my family. They're the people that I like to talk to. I like to be around. A good conversation with my kids about just life and what's going on in their day. Like that's enough motivation for me. Um, seriously,
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like you're doing pretty good. So
I'm not
it
saying I
sounds
don't read, but
sounds
I
like
don't.
things are going pretty good. I love it. Well, I want to thank you so much, Karri, for hopping on and taking the last hour out of your life to pour into us. And it's just awesome because I mean, I was in another company that there was no way I could get somebody on that wasn't making money off of us. So it's just awesome that everyone in Lavelle was like, sure, no problem. So I really appreciate it. I know there's for sure people on today that needed to hear your message and definitely got some golden nuggets from this because I know I did. So thank you so much. I appreciate
Well,
you.
thanks for having me.
Thanks. And if you ever need anything, let me know.
I will.
Thanks.
I'm sure my team would love to pick your brain at some point too. So we'll have to connect again. But thanks guys. This was fun.
Thank you so much. And you guys, all of you, it's payday. Don't forget, Tuesdays are a powerful day to make that post on Facebook. You know, gosh, my check this week paid for gas or groceries, or it's just those little things. It doesn't have to be anything. I think sometimes we think we have to have like this huge check to post. No, it's those little checks that make the difference. Those are the posts that stuck out to me when I was looking into network marketing. It was those things like I just put groceries in my fridge for a week. Like that was golden. So don't forget the power of posting on payday Tuesdays and you know, those transformation Tuesdays, making those posts and sharing from the fan page. They're so huge. So enjoy your payday. And thank you guys for getting on today and pouring into yourselves. This is self-development, guys. When you get on these calls and hear other people's stories and their tips, it's just another way to self-develop. And I appreciate you guys for taking time out. We will see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place, 12 Eastern. We'll have another leader on sharing their story and their tips. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.